Hello, my dear children and parents. Welcome to class 7th of Indus Valley Public School, Raj. So, my dear children, in this video, we are going to study about a poem, The Shed, composed by Frank Finn. Here in this poem, we are going to study about the curious nature of a child. How a child mind is so much full of anxiousness to find out the new things, to explore the new things, and whenever he is asked to do not to do a particular thing, then he will definitely going to do that particular thing. This poem reveals the curiosity of a child to explore the new thing, to explore the hidden thing. And the poem describes about the shed. What is a shed? I think everybody have heard this name, shed. A cow shed, a bicycle shed, a tool shed. The shed is a place that is not included in your house. It is a separate place where you're going to keep your animals, or you can keep your things that is not required inside your house, some spare things, you can say some extra things, even if you can park your things there. Okay, so this is a shed. That in the poem a shed is described, that is in the narrator's garden, and that shed is not opened from many days. And if you close a room and if you are not going to open for certain days, then what will be the condition of that house? If that room, everywhere you will be seeing the web made by the spider, dust, dirtiness, everything will be there in that particular room. So similarly, the speaker had described a shed and his fear, his curiousness to know what is there inside that shed. Okay, so we will be reading the poem and I will be explaining you the poem and about the poet. Okay, my dear children. So here, before we start with the poem, we should know about the author, about the poet. So who is the poet of the poem? Frank Finn. So Frank Finn, he was born on 6th December 1906 in Sydney. He was a Northern Territory based Australian doctor, author and missionary priest. He is notable for his contributions to religion, medicine and Aboriginal, that means native welfare. He was educated in Sydney, receiving MBBS with first class honours in 1930. He joined the Missionaries of the Sacred Heart in December 1935. He was ordained, that means intended, a priest in March 1942 and was sent to the Northern Territory. He received much recognitions. In 1979, appointed as Officer of the Order of Austria. In 1981, Doctorate of Medicine honoris causa, University of Sydney. In 1993, Companion of the Order of Austria and awarded Honorary Doctor of Science, NTC, etc. So this is all about your poet Frank Finn. Now coming to the poem. Let's see. I'll explain you the poem now. This is the shed. How it is broken. Nobody used to visit that particular place. So, there's a shed at the bottom of our garden with a spider's web hanging across the door. So now here the speaker is a small child. The persona means the person who is speaking in the poem. Okay, for whom the poem is described. Okay, so here you can say persona, a little child. He is saying that he is having a shed at the bottom of the garden. Where is the shed? At the bottom of the garden, with a spider's web hanging across the door. So now he is saying that nobody used to visit that place as it is outside his house. It is at the bottom where the garden ends. So nobody used to go there. Nobody opens the door. Nobody clean it. Nobody mop it. So everywhere spiders' webs are there, and it is hanging on the door. He is able to see all this thing at that shed. The hinges are rusty and creak in the wind. So hinges, it is a thing which used to lock the door, and with the help of that you can easily open and close the door. I'll just show you what is the hinge. See this picture, see here you see a metal part, that is the hinge. Okay, so now here the poet, the child, is saying that the hinges are rusty and creak in the window, so that it is not opening from long period. So what happened? It become rust. A covering of iron came to that thing, came to the hinge, and when wind is blowing, so this door is opening and closing and making a creaking sound. When I am in bed, I lie and I listen. I will open the door one day. So now the poet, the small child, is saying that then when in the night, when I used to lie on the bed, then what I see, I listen, because at that time everything is very everything is very silent, no sound is there. So what happened? He can observe every movement, he can observe every sound very clearly. So he used to listen whatever the sounds is coming, and this everything evoke a curiosity in the child's heart, and he said, one day I'll go and open that door and see what is there inside the shed. So the line, I will open the door one day, reveals that he is very curious to know what is inside the shed. This line reveals the curiosity of the child. Okay, and see now children, the figure of speech what is used here. Any which ways, this is an imaginative poem, because whenever we are reading the lines, we are easily can make an image of that particular situation. Like here says spider web, so everybody's mind you can make it out now how the web will be, how will be the spider hanging on the window, how hanging on the door. So this is what imagination. So one of the poetic devices, imagination, used in the poem. Now there are alliteration. Let's see the second line, with a spider's web hanging across the door. So with web, WW repetition is there. Okay, then coming to the second last line, I am in the bed, I lie and I listen. So repetition of I is there. Okay, I, in, then I and I. So again it is a alliteration. Then one more alliteration in the same line, lie and listen. So repetition of L is there. So alliteration is used. Now coming to the last line, one day. So door one day. The D and D repetition is there. So alliteration. So 1, 2, 3, 4 alliteration is there in this stanza. Now coming to the second stanza, there's dusty old window around at the side with 3 creaked panes of glass. I often think there's someone staring at me. Each time that I pass, I will peep through that window one day. So now the speaker, the little child, is describing what is there, how it looks. There's dusty old window around at the side. So now he is saying there, in that shed there is a dusty window side, at the side of that shed. Why? Because nobody is going to clean that, nobody is going to mop that. So all the dust are assembled on that particular window. Then with 3 creaked panes of glass. So there is a glass, means that window is having a glass and it is having 3 line cracks. जैसे कांच पे cracks पड़ जाते हैं ना, तो उसमें 3 cracks पड़े हुए हैं. I often think there's something staring at me. So now when he looks at that shed, the speaker, the child feels that somebody is looking at him. Staring means continuously looking at him. Each time that I pass, so whenever he passes through the shed, he feels that somebody is there inside the shed and looking at him. Somebody is staring at him. I will peep through that window one day. So now again this last line is showing us the curiosity of the child, because he wants to see what is there inside that shed. Who is there? What thing is there? So this curiosity is again shown or depicted in this line. Now what all things are there? Alliteration. We will be thinking what kind of alliteration. Come to the line number 3. Think there. So TT repetition. Someone staring. SS ka repetition. Then coming to the line second last line. Time that. Repetition of T. The next line. Through that. Repetition of T and T. So this is all your alliteration. Coming to your next stanza. My brother says there's a ghost in the shed who hides under the rotten floor board. And even I ever dare to set foot inside, he'll jump out and chop off my head. But I will take a peek one day. Again the curiosity is there. So in this line it is said that speakers, that means the child's brother, comes to him and says that no, you will not go inside that shed. Why? Because there is a ghost inside that. So now see how cleverly the elder brother is saying not to enter the shed, because he want to use this shed for his own purpose. When they will play hide and seek, then he can easily himself hide in that particular place. So in order to confuse him, in order to generate fear in the speaker's head, what the brother is saying that? The brother is saying that there is a ghost inside that. So no need to go inside that shed. And he is saying that, who? Brother is saying that where this ghost is hiding? He is hiding under the rotten floor tiles. मतलब जो आपका फ्लोर है जो टूटा हुआ है उसके नीचे वो छुप के बैठा. You will not be able to see him. Okay, he had hide himself under that floor. And if I even ever dare to set foot inside, he'll jump out and chop off my head. So my brother is saying that even whenever I try to get inside that shed, he will immediately jump out and he will chop my head. Means he will cut my head. Okay, so these lines are creating fear in the speaker's heart and asking them not to enter that place, because he cleverly uses his mind and make that shed for him. His brother wants that his little brother should not use that shed for his purpose. It should be only for him. वो भाई कह रहा है कि वो शेड सिर्फ उसके लिए होना चाहिए, वो मान रहा है, इसलिए वो अपने छोटे भाई को डरा रहा है कि उसके अंदर भूत है और वो ज़मीन के नीचे छुपा हुआ है. And if you enter that place, that ghost will immediately come out and will chop the head of the speaker, the child. Okay, but see the cleverness or the curiosity, or you can say a fearfulness of the child. And the child is stubborn, he is adamant in nature. He is saying whatever is there, whatever the situation is there, he is going to enter that place and he will find out what is there. The poetic device is not much in this. Okay, so now coming to the next part, the last stanza of the poem. I know that there is not really a ghost. My brother tells lie to keep the shed for his den. There isn't anyone starting or making strange noise. Sorry, stirring or making strange noises. And the spider has been gone from his web since I don't know when. I will go into that shed one day soon, but not just yet. So now in these lines, the speaker is saying that I know that there is not really a ghost. So when his brother told him that there is ghost, so speaker is saying that I know there is no ghost, my brother is telling me a lie. So my brother tells lie to keep the shed for his den. So the speaker is saying that I am very much aware that my brother is telling me a lie so that he can keep this shed for his den, for his safety purpose, for his own use. There isn't anyone stirring or making strange noise. So now see how the thought of the speaker, how the imagination of the speaker changes from the first stanza to the last stanza. In the initial position, he was very much scared, he was very much feared to see at the situation of the shed, and now the confidence came into him and he is telling that there is nothing inside that shed and nobody is cheering at me and there is no strange sound coming from that shed. So see the difference from the first stanza to the last stanza. This is what difference came in the speaker, the little child. So now he is saying that now there nobody is cheering at me and there is no strange sound. Nobody is looking at me and I am not able to hear any different sounds or any different noise coming from that shed. And the spider has been gone from this web. So now speaker is saying that the spider were hanging on the door. They have also vanished. They have also gone. But when, I cannot say. But nobody is there now at the door. I will go into that shed one day soon. Now again, this stubborn child, this adamant child is saying that I will go one day, but when, I don't know, but I will go. But he have not decided which day, when he is going to enter that shed, but he is making a continuous plan in his head to enter the shed. Now coming to the poetic device, first line, that there, repetition of TT. Tell lies to keep the shed. Again tell to and the repetition of TT. So here in this poem we find imagination as poetic device and alliteration. We have seen a number of examples of alliteration. Okay, so this is in the poem. Now I will give you the written explanation of the poem. So let's see. The first stanza is there. There shed at the bottom of a garden with a spider web hanging across the door. The hinges are rusty and creak in the wind. When I am in bed, I lie and I listen. I'll open the door one day. So now just look into the picture, that is your hinge. And now coming to the explanation. So now these lines are taken from your poem The Shed, composed by Frank Flynn. and here he is describing a shed that is at the bottom of his garden. Okay, where is the shed? At the bottom of the speaker's garden. So now explanation is, at the bottom of the garden there is a shed. Hardly anybody goes inside the shed. Therefore, the hinges or the door joints have become rusty and makes a lot of noise whenever the wind makes them move. When the poet is peacefully lying in the bed, he sometimes hears noises from the shed. The poet wishes to be able to open the door and the shed some day. And the literary devices used in the poem is alliteration with the spider's web. WW का repetition is there. I am in bed, I lie and I listen. Then again repetition of I is there. Lie and I listen. L का repetition is there. Door one day, DD का repetition is there. So this is your alliteration. Next stanza. There's a dusty old window around at the side with 3 cracked panes of glass. I often think someone's staring at me each time that I pass. I'll peep through that window one day. So now see, this is the window pane, glass pane, and cracks are there in this pane. It is shown there. Okay. So my dear children, again, this poem is describing the shed and he is telling how he wished to stare inside the shed. The shed has a dusty old window on its side. 3 glasses pane of window are broken. So see, 1, 2, 3, 4 panes are there and it is broken into 3 of them are broken. So whenever the poet passes through the shed, he gets the feeling as if someone was staring at him. To find out, the poet wished to peep inside the shed. Then again the poetic device is there. Think there. First line. Not first line. Third line. So TT ka repetition is there. Then someone staring, SS repetition. Time that, TT repetition. And through that, again TT ka repetition is there. So alliteration is used in the poem. Coming to the third stanza. My brother says there's a ghost in the shed who hides under the rotten floorboards. So now see the picture. This is the tiles place. It is rotten, so it is broken. And the ghost is inside this broken tile floor. So now brother is saying, so here we can say that in the given lines, the poet discussed how his brother warns him about the ghost inside the shed, because he did not want him to go inside the shed so that he can use that shed for his hiding place, for his own use. Okay. So the explanation is, the poet's brother talks about the presence of the ghost inside the shed and warns the poet that if he went inside the shed, the ghost would chop off his head. However, this does not much frighten the poet. He still wished to one day step inside the shed and see for himself. Okay, this is there in the third stanza. Now coming to the last stanza of the poem. I know that there is not really a ghost. My brother tells lie to keep the shed for his den. There is not anyone stirring or making strange noises. And the spiders has been gone from his web since I don't know when. I'll go to that shed one day soon, but not just yet. So now, in these lines, poet seems to have grown enough to understand the truth. Means the speaker has grown too much to understand what is correct, what is wrong, what is the real situation. He is grown up from the first paragraph to the fourth paragraph. Okay, so explanation of the fourth paragraph. The poet is able to overcome his fear. He is able to understand that there is no ghost inside the shed. He understands that there is actually nobody inside the shed who stares at him or makes those strange noises. The spider too is no longer there. His brother had hidden telling him lies because he wanted to retain that shed for his own shelf. Therefore, very soon the poet would be able to set his foot inside the shed. However, he says that this can't. So he is saying that he will be going, but not right, but some other time. Literary devices used in the poem: that, there, repetition of TT, tells lie to keep the shed. So T, T and Tika repetition is there. Okay, my dear children. So these are the literary devices used in the poem: imaginative and alliteration. Okay, now coming to the homework. What homework you have to do? You have to write about the poet. You have to write the poem and the explanation of the poem. Okay, children. This is your work. Please do that and send me the notebook so that I can make you sure whether you have done the work or not. Okay, and start revising your chapters because your assignments are coming up and you will be evaluated on the basis of your performance. And please go through the videos because your questions will be asked from the videos. Okay, children. So now enjoy the shed, read the poem, and thank you so much. Take care, my dear children.